What do you think is a safe way to help somebody if they start disclosing early on in a dating relationship that they went through some really serious traumas, or that you've picked up on a bunch of those red flags, and you know they probably need some professional help? How do you maybe start that conversation in a kind way?
I think reflection.
Mm.
I noticed the other day, this is how you handled, this is what you said or did. Did you realize you did that? Why is it a reason that you did that, or what made you do that? Do you realize how it made that other person feel? Do you realize that, what it really looked like? Do you do, and then hopefully you can progress on and say, well, maybe we can talk to somebody. I'll go with you if that be the case. And if they're not willing to get help, that's a red flag. That's if they're not willing to go out and get help before you're married, what makes you think they're going to want help after you're married? They're set in their ways. And like I said, this is not 100% every case, but in most cases, I think that is true. So encourage that person to get help.
I definitely agree with you. When somebody has displayed, especially if you're aware of patterns in their life where they've done the same kinds of things over and over, or reacted the same way over and over, it is very hard on the adult end of things to start unpacking and resolving some of those inner conflicts that have happened over time or during childhood that's still unresolved. It doesn't just change overnight. It takes a long time for people to heal. I've known people who have maybe been through a bad natural disaster, and if they see something on TV where it's similar situation, like a tornado or something's on, they'll fast forward through it, and it's like, whoa, why'd you fast forward through that? That's the good part. And they're like, it just makes me kind of cringy on the inside, and it's hard for me to watch things like that. Or an abuse scene, when you're watching a movie and just all of a sudden you've got a really intense fight between loved ones, or child abuse, and you're just like, oh, I'm very sensitive here. That can be a sign like, hey, do you want to talk about how that made you feel? And not to be a counselor or nothing,
Right,
but
right.
just to unpack why, and to learn and be wise about their response. Because that could be your sign. Here's your sign that if they're not emotionally intelligent, not even intentionally, but not handle life well with you.
That's so important. Like I said, it's important to be honest with yourself and just own it. Okay, something's not quite right with this person. And hey, you may have even gotten to the point of setting a date to get married.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Ooh,
know what?
come
You
on,
have it's
girl.
been there, done that, wrote the book once again. The signs were out there, but you know what? It's a lot easier emotionally, financially, to cancel that wedding and all these arrangements beforehand than
Next.
to go through 5 years, 2 years of pulling hair and all this other foolishness. So you'll come out better. Hey, if you just have to walk away in a dress, that's fine. But save yourself the emotional drama and trauma, financial, emotional, and financial trauma and drama. Save it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. If you're seeing red flags before, don't think you're Superwoman and you're going to change somebody. No, you're just seeing the top of the mountain. There's so much more up under here. So you can't resolve all those problems. So not saying if somebody has an issue, kick them to the curb, it can't be fixed.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one,
yeah.
but if they're not willing to get help, I think you need to rethink that.
Really good advice. Really good. Of course, it's gonna stink to cancel a wedding, and
Of
people
course.
are gonna ask you what happened. You get cold feet and all sorts of foolish talk. But
Hmm.
you're right. You just go through with that and suffer through turmoil for the next however long.
Exactly. People are going to talk no matter what. This is your life. You don't want to waste time if you don't have to. You want to make good decisions. You don't want to put yourself through turmoil if you don't have to. And like I said, I'm an advocate of marriage. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
not like I don't, I get divorced if he's doing, no, that's not what I'm saying. I just want people to know that, hey, if you see the flags, don't just go through something because everybody is looking or because of the status or because of who you're connected to or who's going to, Forget all that mess.
Yes.
You got to live your life in peace.
And to give yourself grace with that too,
Yes,
because
yes.
there might have been things that you didn't see on the front end of stuff. Closer to that date, you're seeing that exposure, that the layers are like coming undone, and you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you're like, dang, do I follow through with this? Or maybe even settling for someone
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be alone, or alone with kids, or you're terrified of dying as a lonely single person. I think a lot of people get in relationships because of that too.
So true. But you have to have peace within. You have to have the joy on the inside. You're thinking, I don't have children, I'm approaching 40 and I've never been married. So what? I mean, but go live your life. Go travel, you work, save your money, go do that stuff, have friends, meet people. You still can have a good life. And not saying this is the end or I'll never get remarried, nothing like that. But live, of course, today. Don't create these situations in your mind. Oh, I'm going to be 65 years old and single and an old maid. Don't think like that. But that's how some people think, well, I just settle for this. I'll settle for him. I'll just put up with the mess. I want to look like the rest of my friends. It's not worth it. Your peace is not worth it if you have to sit in the house with somebody who doesn't talk to you or who's screaming at you. That's not worth it. I mean, you can sit at home and watch TV and go with your friends or travel and be just as happy. So, or you can just date and have fun, just living your life instead of being tied down to a person who is not healthy for you. So that's just really important, not to settle and not just do something, to be a part or to be accepted. It's so important not to do that.
I just love our conversation. I could go on and
I
on.
do too. It's so freeing, so uplifting. I love it.
I don't get the pleasure of seeing somebody this often on the other side of things. A lot of times we see people in the midst of their trauma and the abuse happening, and they're scared to death and they don't know what move to make next. And that's why I'm so glad to have people on like you that share hope and share encouragement and say, look, you're good enough as you are. You have worth, you have value, and you have to believe in yourself. That's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself or to protect yourself from someone who says love and their actions of love don't match up.
Right.
And to be aware of those things, to be aware of yourself, to listen to your gut. When your gut says go, G-O.
Get out of there. Mm-hmm. Right now.
Right now.
You can do it. If anything, I want to tell people, know your value and just know you can do it. Mm-hmm. Don't let all the no's and the naysayers or the finger pointing, no, you can't. Don't let that take precedent over your good sense. You know what's in you. You know you can do this. Mm-hmm. And once you get out there will be somebody out there to help you. You can make it through all of it.
All the references that we've been talking about, like your group that you do on YouTube and Facebook, how they can get your book, we'll have details about that in the show notes. But is there anything you would like to share about how people can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can go on my website. It's erica-glover.org, or my book is available on Amazon, and it's called Push Play. Like I said, it's a quick read. It's not intimidating. And of course, if you want to get in touch with me, hit me up on Facebook, Erica Glover, or YouTube, or you can just, send me an email through my webpage, and I will get back with you. I just want to encourage people. I want to help people to live their best life. So it's time to push play and get to it.
That's right, girl. I'm so looking forward to doing more work with you and seeing how your story can bless the people that cross paths in both of our circles of influence. And that's it. I mean, we talked about everything from the moon and back, and I'm just so excited to share this.
Absolutely.
So thank you all for joining us, and we're wrapping it up.
Hi, everybody.